On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to talk about the 5 best ways to achieve TOMA.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Here's your host, Dave Snowberger. All right, we're back in the studio today. We've got something we want to talk about, what we talk about a lot, something we talk about a lot, excuse me, gentlemen, is top of mind awareness. So today I'm going to have Marshall Tucker. Marshall
That's
Tucker.
me.
That's that guy right there.
What's going on?
Batman hoodie. Now the whole world knows you wear a Batman hoodie, Marshall. And then we've got the butcher himself, James Mendez.
What's going on?
James the Butcher Mendez.
Still going strong.
Alrighty. So top of mind awareness. Let's think about this real quick. We abbreviated TOMA. I think that's not just us, but
we came up with it.
We invented it.
we invented it. So real quick, let's take a pop quiz.
Oh, damn.
Don't trust me here. You're going to get an A no matter what. But I bring this up a lot. So are you ready? So Marshall, put you in the hot seat real quick. You've got 7 seconds. All right. Name 3 sodas.
Coke, Pepsi, Sprite.
Easy to do, right?
Oh, man.
Easy to do, right?
good at
Okay,
that.
so let's do this one more time. So name a car make.
Chevy,
3 of them.
Ford, Kia.
Now you've had time to think. Kia. Where did Kia come from? All right, and lastly, let's do this too. Name 3 fast food chains.
Whataburger, McDonald's, Taco Bell.
Okay. All those are relatively easy, it seems, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do something else. I'm going to turn kick it up a notch on you. Name 3 toothpastes.
Colgate, Crest, and Aqua.
There you go.
That's
So,
one.
so
Isn't
that
that
last one took you a second, right? So Aqua hasn't built a huge brand awareness with you. The last 3 questions I asked you, all 3 of those companies have done a fantastic job of building top of mind awareness. So when you think of a soda, you think of them. It's, do I want a Coke? No, I want a Sprite. No, do I want a Pepsi? I kind of like Coke better. It's just kind of, they've built a great top of mind awareness. The 3 cars that you name there are pretty much, those are what get hammered in their head all day long. Chevy and Ford, and then out of left field, you came up with Kia. And so
We just refinanced my father-in-law's car.
okay, so he drives a Kia, right? Yeah. So all right, well that explains it, right? So that's burned in your head right there. So what I'm getting at here is that you really need to do the same thing, and we're going to give you some tips and some tricks to stand out in your market, to stand out with your audience. Yes, deem everybody that does business with you, or everybody on your Facebook page, or everybody that's in whatever social media platform you choose, that is, yes, your audience. That's not an ego thing to say. It's really just the best way to just describe the people that are watching you put out content.
I call them my fans.
There you go. Yeah. I get laughed at when I call them my fans at my house. I'm like, yeah, my fans, here's some fan mail. Check this out. She's like, you're such an idiot. Just like, you sit in an office with 2 of your doofus friends. And
My fans miss me.
you're like, wait, Nicole calls me a doofus?
We hear you, Nicole.
Yeah, right. So, we're going to give you some things to do to stand out and really kind of look the part. When we name the bands above, there's a good chance that all their logos popped in your head for a reason. Looking back, you might not have noticed this, but humans are often visual learners, right? And so I know that I'm a visual learner. I don't like to read very much. I can read. I don't like to read. And so if I want to learn how to do something, I typically take to the interwebs and check out, a YouTube video or whatever else. And then typically when I do that over and over again, the people that are providing most of the content stand out and are building top of mind awareness with me. That's where some of the coaching stuff that I've gotten involved with came from, is that those coaches did a really good job about standing out. So we're gonna kind of do this for you too. So look the part, look professional. You hear a lot these days about building your brand, right? And so some people say that's a complete waste of time. Get over yourself, stop building the brand, just work in your business and go after, clients. And you don't need a big brand to do that. However, I slightly disagree. Yeah. I think a brand is very important. A brand doesn't have to be a Coca-Cola. It doesn't have to be a McDonald's, but it has to stand out with your audience so you can create that top of mind awareness of what you do every day.
Yep.
Does your audience, your fans, your audience know what you do? Do they know that you sell real estate? Do they know that when they hear, they hear somebody's looking to move to town, or somebody in their office is looking to sell, or, I've really been thinking about investing into real estate. I've been reading a lot about it. Does your head pop into their space? Do you own some mind share up in their brains?
Yep.
So, it's you have to do that. Some people don't know where to start to build a brand or build a, thing. And I think the best place to start is really with a logo. It makes it really more official. And then everything you start doing, social media wise, you can start tagging your post with that brand, or superimposing that image, which is usually a PNG image.
Or tagline of some kind.
Oh, your tagline, but the image is important because you can put those homes on there that when you're doing those humble brags, and saying, I just sold this property, you can put your face on it with your logo, and then it starts building brand recognition for you. So a great place where you can start for cost-effective measures also is Fiverr. Fiverr does great things. You can get things done for $5, or you can spend a little bit more money, about $45 to $85 somewhere in there, and you can have someone that's really good about coming up with a concept for you. If you've got something, you can write it down on paper. Just get it out of your head how your brand you want to look. You can take a picture of it, then upload it into the docs and send it out to the. I'm losing my voice here all of a sudden. Send it out, I guess. Too many. Get off my porch, kid. So you can send that up to the designer of your choice, and so you can look at everybody's work on Fiverr. That's what I like about it, is that you get to go through all their work and their previous campaigns they've worked on for maybe other real estate agents or other small businesses out there. And I just chose somebody that was really cost effective when I first did it. When I first did my KW United logos, that's all it was a KW United behind it, and
they still look nice. They're good.
And they still look good, but don't use them anymore. They're still there, and I more than likely could probably sell that one day. I've already been approached to buy the website from us, so why not?
Nice.
Another one is Design Hill. That's another design company that can help you start branding. And then 99 Designs. 99 Designs, I think, was a little bit more money. I think it was like $300 or $400, but they give you 99 designs. Oh, and so they have 99 different designers shoot over their work, and you kind of get to pick your top ones from that. So not bad. That's definitely the way to start going is be consistent in that stuff too when you start doing this. So the next thing right there, it kind of segues into is give your audience what they want. No more, no less. Be consistent, avoid the fluff. Don't post things. Be strategic, I think, in everything that you post, and realize that you do have an audience. So, I would stay 50-50 on things also. I'd stay in the middle of the lane with politics, with religion, with anything controversial. Just leave it off your page. Yeah. You don't need it. I see these realtors, some of our friends even, just kind of going ham on
fist fights,
political posts. And it's just like, man, what are you doing? Recently we were just somewhere in at a listing appointment, and I took you guys know, I'm letting the audience know that within the first 5 minutes, she said, if I find out that you are basically a supporter of a particular party.
It's a nice way that she didn't say.
Yeah. You're out of here. You won't be selling my property, buddy. And so I was like, okay. And I just kind of, brushed it to the side, and I'm pretty good at deflecting. When people throw things at me like that. I kind of deflect and just kind of stay on task in what I was talking about. Never really acknowledge what she said. Right. And the whole time I'm kicking James under the table, like, you say one word. If you butcher this, you're dead. Living up to his name. But, start your blog. What is a blog? It's just getting things out of your head and blogging about certainly just more like interesting things in your marketplace. And when I say marketplace, that's the place where you work. That's your area. Become hyper local with this stuff. Stand out. What are you doing to stand out? Ask yourself, and write articles that people care about. You might find them not so interesting, but other people do find them interesting. If you don't know how to blog, GTS, Google that stuff, and get out there and find the best way to blog, or the best way to copy and paste somebody and remove some things and just flat out plagiarize it. And so there's always that. the three F's: the food, the fun, and the family. People
Yeah.
that certainly gets a lot of engagement these days. I just noticed also that
Pets.
I say certainly a lot.
Do
I
you?
don't know what that is.
Certainly,
Yeah,
sir.
certainly, certainly. Yeah, certainly.
I just realized that I blog, but about my family and the things that we go do and places that we go and see, and
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that.
Well, I vlog, I guess. I video stuff
Vlog.
all the time, and that's my thing.
A little combo.
The stuff all the time is that Morgan loves to, like, she did the Magnolia Cafe, or not Magnolia Cafe, but Magnolia up in Waco, Chip and Joanna Gaines' place.
Yeah.
We did a Wilco Eats there, and Morgan helped me do it. So she helped me with the intro, and she didn't want to do it. Then
remember
she
that.
finally does it, and she just, the minute I started editing, she just could not wait to see it.
Yeah.
She acts like she doesn't want to do things, and then she just can't wait till the results come
Too
out.
cool
So
for school.
yeah, she's way too cool for school.
Yeah. You can find some of if you're looking for like content or ideas to like what to write or what might be important. There's a lot of community, like we have Community Impact, and there's local magazines that do the exact same thing. You can just see that topic and go after something like that, do like your version of it. Like they do pet stuff. Obviously, Austin's a big pet community.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of stuff around like animal shelters. Go to an animal shelter and talk to them.
Yeah, volunteer your time.
Interview them. Yeah,
too,
do stuff like that
yeah.
and just create that content and post it. Like simple things like that. Or what's going on with a new bridge or construction or anything that's currently going on, just talking about that in short form content. Just write about it or shoot a quick video about it. Just toss it out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's we do with the restaurants. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, at the animal shelter, our local one actually puts content out, so you could just reshare that and add
Exactly.
a couple sentences to it, like, "Hey, have y'all seen this? I'm going to go out there and just boom, you got your instant article."
Yeah, repurposing other people's content, shouting them
I love
out,
it.
and then attaching. It's almost like you're giving yourself credibility by attaching yourself with a credible source.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
it
And
works.
a lot of
Slowly.
times if I go out and I read something, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I read right here that we share on the show is I go out and I read in articles, and I definitely know that we listen to some podcasts in the business, and I think they listen to us. And so I never want to seem like I just listen to his show and then bring it back over here. But if I do learn something, I do like to kind of repurpose that information in my head and then give my spin on it, and I mean, that's just learning. You know, I mean, you just go out and you read a bunch, you listen to podcasts, you listen to books, and then you reshare it. That's what this is all about. And so if you do the same thing on scale with your with your community and everything going on in it, and just read the community newsletter or the local news or just certain we do food a lot, right? So we have Wilco Eats, so we do food. Food's a winner for me. I found something, and I kind of saw some people out there doing this stuff, and I liked it a lot. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. And at first, it was really weird to do food videos and interview the owners or
Everybody's
the
gotta
managers of
eat.
the restaurants, right?
Yeah.
And everybody likes food. You know, I mean, everybody seems to be a foodie these days. And with the invention of the cell phone, it makes it easier. Because I used to make fun of people that snap pictures of their lunch and then would post them on things.
She used to give me a hard time.
But it was
all
a
the time.
sandwich.
You do that,
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about your food.
Oh my God. I used to have that all the time because I take pictures and stuff because I eat some interesting food and I'd post that stuff and I was like, why are you always taking pictures of your food? No one cares. Like,
You're
well,
gonna care
actually, a
someday.
lot of people care. A lot. Hundreds and thousands of people care about food from different blogs. And
in a restaurant these days, and I can see, like the other day I was taking pictures of food and there was a clear booth. Oh, it was the hamburgers the other day over at In-N-Out. And so we were taking pictures of our hamburgers and the lady next to me just starts kind of like mocking me with the guy. And I didn't say anything, just because whatever. But
Yeah.
I just, instead of my whole hand over here holding the cell phone, it just became my middle finger was holding it. And hopefully she was seeing it while I was doing it. No, I'm just kidding. But, it's like I used to care about that stuff. And Marshall was like, dude, who cares? Just block them out. Because it would affect how I took the picture. And then I'd get back and like the pictures were all crap.
Yeah.
Because I would try to kind of hide taking the picture because I didn't want anybody to laugh at me, and just now it's just like full on, like turning around at the table like, hey guys, welcome to Wilco Eats.
Now he overdoes it, and I'm like,
I got the little glass spinner so you
Tone
can
it
see all the
down.
food on rotation.
Yeah, I haven't even edited that video yet.
Oh, you haven't?
from Guaco
That
Taco.
boomerang
Yeah.
video that you shot real quick was not the angle I wanted, but it came out really good because it hit like a full round of the tacos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I posted that up. Everyone liked it.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good one. Those tacos.
I never
cool.
toast my food because between y'all two, mine's always so small and tiny, and y'all got these mounds of hamburgers.
He always gets his food in, and I like immediately remove it from in front of him and bring it over to my side of the table. But I can't
cracks
touch
me
it
up.
usually, right? You don't want
Yeah.
to touch somebody else's food. So I'm like, hey, can you remove your bun real quick? So
Shift it over a little bit.
Then I get mad at him. I'm like, no, to the left, Make it look cocked a little bit right there, so the pickle show, on the barbecue sandwich. Like the pickle's got to gleam off the
Marshall's
line.
like, I just want to eat my little taco or burger.
It's pretty funny. So stand out in your search results. That's certainly a good one. I said certainly again, but that's a great one right there. Stand out in your search results, and a lot of things we just talked about or brought up is a great way to do that. If you can afford, a lot of the people we listen to reminding is our new agents in the market space are really people looking to lead generate more or what they can do for the to get more business in. And a lot of the stuff, if you want to stand out with, say, your SEO or Facebook ads that cost money, that stuff can rack up real quick. And a lot of us starting out don't have a lot of resources to keep funding this stuff. So organically try to stand out as much as possible. And here's some tips to do that is really to build a presence there is, create one of those invite-only groups. We have one for real estate, and then we have one for Georgetown, right? Marshall started a while back and then didn't realize he's sitting on like 3,000 people. It's just like, oh, Marshall, you
I got to get in there and clean out the trash.
You own this group now. Like, this is fantastic, But, awesome. Publish evergreen content. And some of that evergreen content, once again, we just mentioned was, your food posts and how you feel about certain things in the community. I mean, you want to stand out doing that, but always come up with something a little bit more original. It doesn't have to be necessarily original, a topic to you, but just put your spin on it is what makes it original. Yeah. Right. And so, post when your competitors are asleep. That's a good one. Because most people are following a calendar, and you can go out and Google right now. The best times to post on social media is going to be between 8 o'clock and like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then after that there's dead hours, and then right before 8:30 or so before and it's all of these things, but basically it's like right when people arrive to work. You're just telling me people don't work because they log onto their phones. When they get back from lunch, there's no more work to do, so they log back onto Facebook, and then after they get home and take care of their family or themselves and feed themselves, they hop right back on before bed. So it's kind of like, okay. And so I just found the best time to post is anytime. Get it out there. Spread it to your audience. One of the best times to post also is when maybe, like I said, your competitors are asleep. It's a busy, noisy place. Social media is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot for people to sit there and bring into their brains, right? And so if you're doing it at a different level, so it's there when people pop up, when people wake up and the content's there and you post it at midnight, you'll start seeing those engagements come in. I post at 5:30 in the morning, and I see that most of my engagements come well before 9:30. Is right there. So what's up?
You don't necessarily mean like when they're physically sleeping, just when they're not proactively working, kind of thing. So I mean, at night works too. I guess it depends on your content. Like some people are more of night birds and see the content at night. Some are more like we're all pretty early risers, so we see a lot of our content early in the morning. So it just really depends on your the dynamic of the people you're posting towards. One of the couple of other things we found that worked, hashtagging things to make sure people can find it, the content, and then in the body of the content that when you're writing your copy or the information about it, use the words about what's in the pictures or in the videos. Like if you're at a restaurant, use a restaurant's name, right. Or if you're talking about food, use a food's name or the area, and just write that in there. Because when people are trying to find that content, the first things they're going to think of is those key pieces around it, not necessarily your content. So that's what they're going to search for. So if those words are in your in the body, in like the paragraph portion of it, then they can more easily find your
and that brings up one of the last things on that one is to post videos in your content natively. Yeah. Don't use one of those services that syndicates out to everything out there. Obviously, any of these topics that we're bringing up right now, each individual one can be Googled, and you can find out the best way to do this stuff and the best recommendations for it. Just because there's an article at the top of the thing doesn't mean it's the best one. So you might have to scroll through till you get one that you really kind of identify with and can use. But post natively, we do on videos. I'm missing huge opportunities, I think, by not posting or taking YouTube as seriously as I should. Because my platform of choice is really Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are my two, right? I've got every other one. Just downloaded. Everybody seems to be for the past year or so hopping on TikTok. Yep. It just kind of, I get on TikTok
blowing up. Yeah. Or has been for a while.
Yeah. I mean, Morgan's on it at 9 years old, so I know how to work it because I usually film her and her little cheerleading dance stuff she wants to do, and she makes these videos, and she doesn't have any. She's kind of set to private, so she thinks she's sharing with the world.
Is
She's
TikTok
not.
blowing up again? Because I checked that out a couple of years ago and it was all kids, so I left. I was like, well,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of 9-year-olds.
it was slow going and then came back, or it's been pretty strong for like over a year now, and it's been gaining momentum.
Yeah, but there's another one.
don't really
She came
use
down
it,
the other day with one where she can actually add her own music, what she can do on TikTok.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
one's a little bit different. It had I'll remember the name some other time. I'm not going to use it, so why would I remember the name? Never mind. And so on top of all this, once again, these kind of all these topics lead together, but stay social. Like you have to continue to stay social, and that's just not on social media. You have to stay social in your community, right? And so you need to volunteer for things. We brought up the volunteering for, kind of the animal shelters. There's certainly in Austin, there's plenty of homeless shelters to deal with right now.
Yeah.
There's lots of things you can be doing. It seems to be most realtors want to run their business as charity. However, they don't go and do a lot of charity work. But they need to get out there in the community and help people out. Help your neighbors out. You see your neighbor doing something out there, and they have the potential that one day they might sell their home or whatever else, and you don't know them that well. The other day I stopped by and helped one of our neighbors. He was having a hard time digging his holes or digging the concrete out of his holes, right? So it's just kind of like you go up to him and it's like, hey, Danny, you want me to give you a secret about that stuff? And he's like, what? It's 89 degrees, maybe 92 degrees, something like that. And he's busting his back over there, busting out his concrete. I was like, just dig holes next to it. Go about 12 inches the other way and dig a hole, and then take that dirt and fill that hole up. And he's just like, I hate you. But you saved me a half a day, and it just kind of, it's just, I built, I was at his house last night for Christmas, and I'm not Christmas, Halloween. Wishful thinking. But, I was at his house last night, and he was telling everybody, he's like, yeah, Dave comes over here, Mr. Smart Guy, and tells me to do this. But he saved me on my sprinklers one day, right? So I'm digging up a sprinkler that I ran over with my truck, and, it's shooting straight in the air like a geyser. And he comes over, and he's like, why don't you just unscrew go get the same sprinkler, unscrew the head, and screw the new head on. And I'm like, freaking brilliant. Like, how did I not do that? Like, what an idiot.
I'm going to replace the whole system.
Yeah, and now when I pull in, I'm like, oh, I can run that over because it's so easy to fix. Because Nicole, she drives the big old SUV also, and she takes up half the driveway every time, so it kind of scoots me off the driveway.
Yeah.
And anyway, so, yeah, stay social out there. 46% of online users around the world rely on social media to help them make decisions, purchasing decisions. So if 90% of all the real estate searches, whether you're a buyer or seller, start online, certainly pairing with them and promoting some of that stuff can help you stand out as well. I mean, if they're making their decision, like half of the people out there are basing their decision on what they're seeing on the internet. It's get out there, don't fake it till you make it, be genuine. One of the biggest compliments we got yesterday from the seller after we left was like, I love your team. They're so genuine. That's not something you can fake, to have lunch with people. And it's just like, you guys just really flowed. It's like you could tell you're all friends. You all work closely together. And I was like, I'm glad that conveys, because I hadn't really thought of it, and it's weird to show up with your whole team
She was like, whoa.
to a lunch, right? That was intended for just her and I. However, it's a really delicate situation with this particular seller. You saw, within the first 5 minutes, after she said she was going to kill somebody and bury him under her barn because of their political views, she started crying because
then I started crying.
Yeah. She talks about, driving out of her gate, it's land. So, driving out of her gate for the last time and not looking back. And she even texts me all this stuff. And her texts make you want to cry. And I just I found some quotes this morning that I sent her, and just kind of like, it's about turning to the next chapter of your life. It's time to close a chapter and move on to the next one. Remember the good years you had here, 16 years, and move on, to this new, and you're going to Colorado of all places. How beautiful. Like, she showed me the pictures where she was going, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I wouldn't leave Texas for anything, but if I did, it might be the same place. Colorado was good looking.
Yeah. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah. Let me see here. Play nice. Lastly, that's going to be the biggest thing right there is playing nice. Don't waste your time, resources, or efforts talking bad about the competition. Realize that by doing that, you're only paying to put their name in their minds of the consumer. you're also casting negative light upon your own brand in the process.
Stand above it is best.
Yeah, you just don't mention anything. I mean, I used to go to appointments and rip on Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com because they would cite those as, but then I realized after doing that for about a year that wasn't really getting me anywhere. And that was their trusted source, right? And so I think in my hypothesis on that, my theory on that is really kind of that we're taught as young students or just when we're going through life is to read books, right? And then we learn by reading, right? And most of it is in a sense almost fact. There's not a lot of an opinion. There is opinion learning, but not in the school system. But that's what's ingrained in us. And so now with the internet coming along.
Yeah.
I could just
in the past year or two.
Yeah.
The new intraweb.
With the internet coming along, it's everything we read, people take as the gospel. And they've even I've noticed by just the tremendous amount of information that I Google, a lot of it's starting to be tagged with opinion because they want you to realize this is somebody's opinion. It's not fact, And so I think that when we have that ingrained in us, when they look at a Zestimate, right? When they look at a Zillow Zestimate, they just think that's it, and then Zillow really sells themselves as the one-stop shop for everything these days, right? And so they can alter the information however they want. We know what a Zestimate is. I don't know if you realtors, have you ever Googled Zestimate? Go find out what a Zestimate actually entails. What's the calculation there to come up with that? It's not comps. All right. No. So they typically don't have access to comps. They're going to be gaining access to comps because they're becoming realtors, something they would never do. But I'm not going to throw them under the bus. I've just decided to play nice with them, And so they help us get our reviews out and our word out. I know that they repurpose the information. Or, once our clients go in there and they decide to leave a review and they put in Dave Snowberger, and I sold 123 Main Street or not, I bought 123 Main Street. I'm the consumer on this one. And all of a sudden Zillow captures all that information. And within about a year or so, they start marketing. They start their own drip campaigns on our clients. Because why? Because realtors do not so good of a job keeping up with their past clients. And friends, right? Yep. And so it's necessary evil. But I've decided to play nice with them. That was the whole point of that. So your competition. Don't badmouth other realtors out there. Don't badmouth discount brokers. Don't badmouth flat fee brokerage. Don't discount. Discount.
Don't get into fights with other people's opinions. Because it kind of brings me back to, we have a family restaurant and over the years, there's been some reviews online, Yelp, Facebook, places like that, and you just kind of want to go in there and be like, "That's not right at all. Yeah, it's not that's not how we do business, or just whatever." But you just got to let it roll off your back, keep on moving forward, because once you dwell in that and start talking about it or bring it up, it just cements it in everyone's head, and it's best just to be quiet about it and let it fade.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's something about your reputation that you can definitely defend, but other than that, don't get into fights.
Not even that.
Delete them, block them.
Usually I don't even acknowledge anything that says about us. I mean, we haven't had anything negative said on the podcast yet. However, I know we're probably not some people's cup of tea. No big deal, right? So this is, basically three friends that take our experiences and repurpose them and try to help out our fellow agents out there to bring people up. And I know, I haven't really heard anything that negative about us, but I know that agents have egos a lot of times, right? And so I know I do. I know Marshall does. Not just kidding.
Marshall's like, nah.
Don't talk about me.
So yeah, it's just play nice with everybody. That's all you can do. And just if you get negative press, as how I look at that, if you get negative press or negative whatever, it's a 24-hour news cycle. It'll be gone in 24 hours. Don't worry about it. Don't let it crush you. Don't let it ruin your day. Become a duck and let it just fly off your back. And never lash out at anybody online, because remember, it's pretty much there to stay. With screenshots these days, you're not going to win that ever. If I want to have a bone to pick with somebody, it's always going to be in a conversation. But then you get like Marshall and start recording conversations, and I'm like, I'm just not going to talk anymore.
Yeah, that's a waste of time and energy. There's so many things. I mean, especially with us, there's way too much to do to get into a long, drawn out fight about something that really just doesn't matter at all.
At all. So real quick, I want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button. And if you have time to go ahead and leave that a 5-star review real quick. And then if you can, one last favor is to share the podcast with one of your professional friends, or maybe someone that's struggling and needs a little bit of help doing this. You can always also share Top Shelf agents, have them text Top Shelf to 88000. We love helping people that might be struggling a little bit at no cost, obviously. I don't want to say free, but I'd love to have a kind of a coaching moment with anyone out there. If you want to talk to myself or Marshall, not quite sure why would you want to talk to James, but he's available if you need him.
You gotta know how it goes down.
Right. Whatever.
All
right. So we're going to go ahead and hop out of the studio today. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will catch you back next week sometime. Remember, if you need to get a hold of us, hit that Top Shelf to 88000. I want to go ahead and bring up also our mortgage man, our guy. Michael Harrell. One of these days we're going to get him on the show.
One day.
I'm trying to treat him like
Does he even exist?
Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon. Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon. How Jimmy Kimmel always ends the show is like, Dad, we ran out of time for Matt Damon tonight. So we ran out of time for Mike Harrell today. But you can reach him at Magic Mike at 88000. 88000. We will see you next time.
I'm out.